Aislinn Frazer is a high school senior and distance runner from Long Island who has excelled at her craft. She's a nationally ranked participant in indoor, outdoor, and cross-country track. But her success has not come without its share of hardships, and Aislinn now accepts her role as an inspiration to those who are overcoming challenges of their own. She enjoys supporting those in need in her community and especially enjoys sharing her story with patients who are in pediatric hospitals. So, Aislinn Frazer, welcome to the main event.
Thank you.
It's great having you, Aislinn. You know, people sometimes view distance runners, which you are. You excel in several long distance running activities. They view you as solitary figures, right? You're off running on your own and training on your own. And, sometimes it's really important to kind of think about your teammates, right?
Yeah.
How do you interact with your teammates?
Well, my teammates are some of the most important people in my world. They track and cross country is very much seen as like a very solo effort kind of sport. Um, but they're very, very much team sports. And so I really appreciate my teammates and all of the work that they put in to help us succeed as a team and the way that they train and the love that they give to the sport. It pushes me to do better with my own performances. And it's awesome to have a kind of community within our team that we can push each other and we're there for each other if races maybe don't go great, and we're the first people to celebrate each other when they go amazing. So yeah, I love my teammates. They're always there for me, and I do my best to be there for them too.
You just had a pretty cool experience last week, I think, where you qualified for the state championships,
Yeah.
but you also anchored a relay and helped three of your teammates make it into the states as well. Tell me what that was like in that race coming down to the finish line.
Oh, I love relays. They're so much fun. Like earlier in the night, I ran an individual distance race. I ran 3,000 meters. And
So
you know,
explain to a kid who's in the hospital and
yeah,
doesn't,
yeah.
how far is 3,000 meters?
So I ran 15 laps around the track inside. And it was hard and it was rough because I had to do it by myself a lot of the time. But then later in the night, my teammates and I ran a relay. We each ran only 2 laps around the track. So we're running as fast as we can, which is a little bit different for me, but I do my practice and everything. Um, but I often anchor our team's relays just because I am a very, very competitive person and I don't like to lose. So they like to put me on the end so that I can make sure that we don't lose. Um, but yeah, that relay was awesome. We've been practicing it all season and we've been getting faster and faster every time we run it. So it was really cool to get to I haven't had teammates come with me to the state championships since my sophomore year, and I'm a senior now, so it's exciting to get to have my teammates there with me again, and they haven't been yet, so I'm excited to
Oh,
them to experience it.
what an amazing thing that had to be coming down the stretch and having everybody on the side of the track just going crazy.
Yeah, it's a cool environment. It's a lot of fun. I get really stressed out during relays because I'm the last leg, so watching my teammates run first kind of stresses me out sometimes. But I always cheer super loud for them, and I probably waste a lot of energy cheering, but uh it's worth it because they handed me the baton in a really good position, so all I had to do was hold on, and it was cool crossing the line knowing that I was going to get to bring them to states with me.
So what are some of the life skills you think you've learned through running?
Um, there's definitely a lot of them. One of the first one that comes to mind is discipline. Um, if my training for today is to go run 5 miles, do my drills, and come home and stretch, then that's what I have to do today. I have to prioritize making sure I get that done. Um, and that practice of having self-discipline in my running has helped me um, make sure that I'm on top of things in other places in my life. So if I know that I have a track meet going pretty late one night, I know that the beginning of that day, I have to prioritize making sure I have my homework done and that I have my chores done and the other things that I want to do so that I can focus in other areas. So I think discipline has definitely been a big one. Um, and I also just think perseverance, um, just knowing that like this workout is really, really difficult, or I'm having a really hard time keeping up with the pack in this race. But I know that on the other side of it, it's going to be, I'm going to get the result that I want and that I've worked for. So I'm going to keep working for it. That kind of mindset has translated into other areas of my life with work I do at school or work I do with my friends or even at my job. So, yeah. I mean, a lot of my life does revolve around running. I have a job at a running store and I train every day and I'm at practice, but I am involved with like a couple clubs at my school that I'm actually the leader for one of the committees at my school. So that requires a lot of like outside work and I'm the event coordinator for that committee. So making sure I get to the events and making sure that the events are planned and that they're going to run smoothly is another part that kind of adds on to my out of school stuff. But in terms of hobbies, a lot of it is running. I have a younger brother too, so hanging out with him can be quite a hobby. So,
I've seen your brother run. He is a hobby unto himself. So
oh,
that's
he's a beast.
he's a great kid. You have a dad who's a coach,
Mhm.
and just from having met you at several events, I know how important your family is to
Mhm.
you. Can you talk a little bit about the influence that your family has on what you do?
Yeah, my family is the best. My dad is my coach. He started coaching me for cross country my sophomore year, I believe. Or maybe it was my junior year, I forget. Um, it was junior year, and he's been my indoor track coach since freshman year, and then also junior year started outdoor coach. Um, but he has been amazing. He's such a good coach, but we also try to do a good job of separating like when I need him as my coach and when I need him as my dad. Um, and he says I do a very good job of it. I do my best, but I think that we separate it well, that I know like when my dad is there for me and when my coach is there for me. And my mom she is also very big in the Nassau County and New York State track world, and she still makes sure that she is there to support me and let me know when she's cheering as mom or when she's present as the coordinator of a meet. Um, so that's awesome. And my younger sister is on my team as well. Um, so it's awesome to get to like share this passion with her and to get to train with her. We do a kind of different events, um, but we still get to train together, which is a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, my family's the greatest. My grandparents do their best to like both sets of my grandparents do their best to try to get to every event, every meet. My cousin on my dad's side, he's pretty speedy too. So my dad's parents are at a ton of track meets for both of us, and my whole family is kind of a big running family. So it's cool to it's a really cool dynamic that we all have with each other, and it's a lot of fun.
Part of getting to that platform and part of getting to that level of success, sometimes you have some obstacles to overcome. If you're
Hmm.
comfortable with it, do you want to share any of the obstacles that maybe you had to overcome in order to, there's got to be a day, I would think, when you just wake up and say, I just don't feel like training today. I'm done.
Yeah. I had a lot of trouble with like kind of my motivation and stuff, like the end of sophomore year and almost all of last year. Um, just some trouble with like getting out of school at the end of the day and feeling like going to practice or going to a meet and knowing that I'm gonna be really tired and is it even worth it kind of thing. So I had some trouble with like some mental health stuff going on and just some thoughts of like, is this all like, is everything that I'm doing worth it? Is this good enough? Do I have to run faster? Um, but again, like my family and my support system and my teammates, like they really, really helped me like get out of that. Um, and that wasn't necessarily all rooted in running. It just kind of bled into my running. Um, so it was really nice to have like my teammates and everything, and my coaches available to me as resources to help me kind of move past that area. And I feel a lot better now, which is awesome because now I know the kind of starting feelings of that kind of lack of motivation or that kind of self-deprecating kind of thoughts. Um, and I recognize it if it happens in my teammates, and I know now what to do to kind of help them get out of that. So, and it's the same kind of thing they did to help me without even knowing it. So it's nice that I've been able to kind of cycle that trouble back into being able to help my teammates.
What would you give as a piece of advice to somebody who may be challenged right now with some health issues?
Yeah. I have like a couple things that I do to kind of reassure myself of, the strength that I have in my mind and in my heart and in my body. Um I have a bracelet that I wear that says mile on it, and it has a heart next to it. And for each letter of the word mile, I have a kind of sentence or two of a self-affirmation. And I wear that bracelet every day. So if I kind of get overwhelmed or I'm starting to feel certain ways, or even if I just look down at my bracelet, I know that like I can take a minute, I can take some deep breaths and kind of recite those affirmations to myself. And they're very helpful. They sound kind of silly because they're kind of like cliche kind of things, but sometimes hearing them like really helps in the moment. Um, Another thing I do is after races or after a workout, I have a journal that I keep and I will write down, like I try to keep it mostly positive, so I will write down maybe three things that I did that I really liked in my race, three things that like were really really positive about my race, and then maybe three things not necessarily that were bad but that I might want to fix next time. Um and that's helped me kind of keep a really positive mindset about understanding that there are going to be challenges and obstacles, but I can take what I've learned from how they impacted me this time and I can use that knowledge to get over them a little easier next time.
I have an image of you as a little girl. You were at the Main Street Mile in Farmingdale one
Oh
year
yeah.
and you won your event, and it came with prize money. And you came up to Pat LaFontaine, who is a professional athlete. Obviously, he's one of the best hockey players ever. And you handed him your winning prize, and you told him you wanted him to use it to help sick kids in the hospital.
Hmm.
And that money did go into helping. We just had about a month ago now, Christmas event with Santa Claus. And that donation that you made went towards buying gift cards for
Oh, yay.
some of those kids for Christmas. So, and I could tell you that for some of those kids, it's the only present they got because they're in a situation that's pretty tough for their families and they weren't able to get anything else. So that was an incredible gesture on your part. It's a reflection on you as a person, but it's a reflection on your family, your teammates, etc. But as important is this time that you're sharing right now with these kids because they look up to people who have overcome issues in their life because they're in need of overcoming something right now in their life.
Mhm.
And what you have just shared with them are so many good tips on how to overcome where they are in their medical treatments right now. So I want to thank you on behalf of all of them for what you've done and wish you nothing but more success. You know, there's been a lot that have you have overcome and you understand how important it is to celebrate the victories.
Yep.
And I think you're going to help a lot of sick kids have some victories in their lives. So thank you for the time you spent today.
Of course. Thank you so much for inviting me.